everything I talked about of this Six Sigma constant quality improvement process is perfectly applicable to our regulatory system. Let me give you an example of what I mean. At the Virginia Mason Hospital, you go up, I think it was on the 3rd floor, I could be wrong, you see a wall of quality improvement. And on that wall, and I was up there a couple weeks ago, you will see every single process of a given department under scrutiny. I don't know if it's every month or every week. So when I was there, they had the Department of Urology, I think it was. And they looked at every single process that that department had when they treated a patient. How the patient is checked in, how their lab results are taken to the lab, how the lab results are reported to the doctor. And they've broken down every single step. And for every one of those steps, they had assigned a value statement to it and a lack of value statement to it. And what they did is they looked at every step and decided which steps have value to the ultimate outcome and which do not. And they, it's either every week or every month, would go through and try to change their process to eliminate waste. Now, in our permitting situation, when you're trying to get a permit for a well, or a permit for a bridge, or a permit for a land development, you have a process on how those permits are processed. And every time a piece of paper gets to a desk and sits there for 2 or 3 weeks, we lose economic growth in this state, because time is money in economic growth. I am very convinced that by the adoption of this culture of constant improvement, we can find significant efficiencies throughout the state government, including the permitting system. And this is one of the most frustrating things to private business, which is the time associated with permitting. Now, we have made some progress in various places. I'm not saying that we have not made some progress, but we have a long ways to go.
Congressman, would you address 2 social issues that are in the headlines these days? 1, where do you stand on gay marriage? 2, where do you stand on the legalization of marijuana?
Thanks for your easy questions, sir. So I believe in marriage equality. And the reason I believe in that is that I've been married for 38 years. And I fundamentally believe that no government and no politician should deny any of my fellow Washingtonians the right to have what I have, which is a stable, committed, meaningful relationship. So I'm going to support the legalization of that equality in the state of Washington. And when we do that, we will do it to make sure in a way that no religious organization doesn't have the right to have their own definition for their own purposes, under their belief of spirituality. This is a situation where we can have both equality, which is a quintessential Washington value. I said I love the state. One of the reasons I love the state of Washington is we have been leaders in equality in so many different ways. This is another place where I think Washington should lead. Marijuana, there are 2 things I know we should do for sure. Number 1, we have got to get the intention of the voters of the state of Washington to be honored, which does allow the use of medical marijuana in the state of Washington. And right now, that intent of the voters is being frustrated by the federal government, which is threatening the state government anytime we try to enforce the will of the people. So we need some changes to, frankly, get the federal government off our backs when it comes to the ability of Washingtonians to have access to medical marijuana. Second, I believe that we should stop wasting so much of our resources in our criminal justice system associated with marijuana, particularly personal use of marijuana. This is something that really does not bring value or reduce significant levels of crime, and we need to reprioritize our law enforcement away from chasing folks who are involved in marijuana. We've got enough problems in our criminal justice system, and I'm aware of that, I guess in part because my daughter-in-law is a forensic scientist at the crime lab. I've got a sense of the challenges. Law enforcement is strapped. They've got a lot of problems to deal with. As far as total decriminalization, I'm not there yet at this moment. I'm a parent. I'm just not comfortable right now, and that's my position.